Welcome to the Hidden Files, where Reddit mysteries, cold cases, and chilling true crime stories come alive. If you're drawn to the shadows like we are, hit subscribe and join the investigation. It just wrapped up her final therapy session of the day. Locked the office, walked out, and vanished without a trace. No signs of a struggle. No goodbye. Just gone. Last patient said she seemed off, but calm. Authorities called it a mystery, until her journal surfaced weeks later. What was written inside changed everything. Stay close. This story gets darker the deeper you dig.
She was the therapist people trusted with the worst parts of their lives. Name, Dr. Lydia Harper. 15 years in practice. Private clinic just outside Portland. Never missed a session. Never canceled last minute. Always stayed late. Always followed through. Then one Wednesday, she didn't show up. No call, no text, silence. Her last patient of the day waited. They sat in the lobby for over an hour. They checked the time, checked the door, checked their phone. No Dr. Harper. The receptionist tried to reach her. Straight to voicemail. No response. She never came home that night. Morning came. Her car was still in the clinic lot, locked. Her bag was inside. Only one thing was missing. Her work notebook. The notebook she kept on her. Always. Not for gossip, not for secrets to trade. For structure, for memory, for continuity. It was her anchor, and it was gone. Police started the clock. They pulled the security footage. There she was, after her 4 p.m. session, walking the hall. Calm, normal, unhurried. Then nothing. No exit on camera. No second angle. No sign of a struggle. No Lydia. The final patient spoke to investigators. They kept the name off the record. They called the session ordinary, routine. Nothing unusual, they said. But the clinic staff told a different story. They said she looked rattled, fidgety, distracted, worried, maybe scared. One colleague remembered a line. "I should have said something years ago." Said quietly, almost to herself. Said to the air. Said like a confession that arrived too late. She never explained it. She never got the chance. The internet did what it always does. Rumors spiraled. 2 main theories took shape. 1, she heard something dangerous. Something someone would kill to keep quiet. 2, she vanished on purpose. She ran. People debated the ethics. Therapists hold secrets that are not theirs to reveal. But they also have duties. If a confession is a threat, you act. If a patient names a target, you call. Did she hesitate? Did she listen to a line that crossed a line? Did she pay for it? 6 months passed. Then the clinic got mail. No sender, no note. Just one torn page. It looked like it came from a notebook. On it, one sentence. "I shouldn't have stayed quiet." No fingerprints, no DNA, no postmark they could trace that mattered, and no follow-up. The message landed like a stone. Was it Lydia? Was it someone mocking the whole case? Was it the final patient? The handwriting was never confirmed publicly. No one claimed it. No one explained it. Today, Dr. Harper is still missing. No body, no answers, just questions. And the work notebook's still gone. Her family hired a private investigator. Not a cop, not a conspiracy theorist. A methodical one. Patient, careful. He believes the truth sits in a chair, in a room, across from a therapist who never came home. Let's rewind. Who was she, really? Her patients called her solid, warm, clear, boundaried. She kept her life boring on purpose. Same commute, same parking spot, same seat in the break room. She scheduled the same time blocks for years. She never mixed patients in the hall. She staggered appointments. She asked the receptionist to buffer 5 minutes. She let clients leave quietly. It worked. It kept people safe. No drama, no alarms. Until there was. That Wednesday had a normal start. She confirmed appointments. She sent a reminder email at 9:03 a.m. She answered 2 messages from colleagues, one about a referral, one about paperwork. She ate lunch at a desk. She had tea at 2 p.m. Her 3 p.m. ran long. Her 4 p.m. started late. At 4:52 p.m., cameras caught her leaving that room. She closed the door. She adjusted her sleeve. She walked down the hall. Her keys were later found in her bag. Her wallet was in there too. Her laptop, her glasses, her planner, all in the car. Only the notebook wasn't. After 5 p.m., no one saw her. No pings on her phone. It was off. No credit card use. No ride shares. No buses. No calls. A clean, hard stop. So what was in that notebook? Therapists don't write transcripts. They jot prompts, dates, homework, flags to check later. A memory map, not a diary. Names and initials, distorted timelines to protect privacy. Still, a skilled reader could piece patterns together. A violent theme here, a family there, a threat that repeats. If someone wanted to know what she knew, that notebook would sing. So who needed it? Who felt exposed? Who felt watched? Let's talk about the last patient. We don't know the name. We do know they were new to the clinic. Second session. They had asked for evenings only. They paid in cash the first time. That part was shared by staff, quietly, off the record. Ordinary, they said. But a second session is rarely calm. It's when people tell you the thing behind the thing, the fear behind the anger, the pattern behind the story. Ordinary for a therapist can be terrifying for the client. Ordinary can also be a mask. What about the sentence the colleague heard? I should have said something years ago. Said when? Said after the last session? Said on her way to the restroom? No one agrees. The colleague was certain of the words, not the moment. But words like that don't live in a vacuum. They belong to a history. Maybe a case from early in her career. Maybe a patient who described harm. Maybe a pattern she noticed and dismissed. Maybe a sign she ignored. She was cautious, but she was human. Was she carrying a decision she regretted? Did someone find out? There's also the possibility of self-erasure. People who help others often struggle to ask for help. Did she feel threatened by someone in her past? Did she fear a retaliation she could not prove? Did she stage a vanishing to stay alive? If so, why leave her bag? Why take only the notebook? Why wait until after session 4? Too many gaps. Back to the private investigator. He started with the calendar. He recreated her last 2 weeks. He mapped every appointment, every break, every arrival and exit. He cross-checked timestamps with camera angles. He noted a blind spot in the West Corridor. A camera had been down for weeks. Budget delay. He talked to staff one by one. He asked about attitudes. He asked about tensions. He asked who disliked her. No one did. She had no enemies at work. She did have boundaries that frustrated some. She refused to take certain cases. She enforced fees when people no-showed. That can create resentment, but not like this. He read the police report. He reread it. He looked at the parking lot layout. 2 entrances, 1 camera on the main gate, 1 on the rear alley. Neither caught her car leaving that night. Her car never left. So if she walked out, she left on foot. If she didn't walk out, she left through a door without a camera. If she didn't leave at all, someone moved her off camera. Which one makes sense? The clinic had a back stairwell. It led to a service exit. Staff rarely used it. The door alarm was never triggered that night, unless it was disabled. Was it? Records were inconclusive. Older system, poor logs. Convenient, or just lazy management? Take your pick. The PI focused on the notebook. If you wanted leverage, you wanted that book. So he asked, who knew it mattered? Everyone saw her carry it. She tucked it under her arm at lunch. She wrote in it between sessions. She took it to the restroom. She never left it in a room. Clients noticed. They always do. People watch their therapist's habits, so the last patient knew. So did anyone in the lobby. So did anyone paying attention. The torn page arrived 6 months later. I shouldn't have stayed quiet. Was it a confession? A signal? A threat? The page had edges that matched spiral tear, like a standard notebook. No watermark, no distinctive brand. But the clinic did sell one kind at the front desk. She did not use that brand. She bought her own. That detail didn't go public. It narrows the pool. Who tears a page from a missing person's private notes? Someone with access. Someone who found the notebook after. Someone who wanted to stir the pot. Or Lydia herself, reaching out from a hiding place. If it was her, why not say more? Because the watcher was close? Because time was short? Because she was playing for safety, not applause? The PI pulled her old cases. He called former patients who consented to talk. He wasn't looking for content. He was looking for patterns. Any mention of fear around the clinic. Any mention of a man who waited in cars. Any mention of demands for records. 2 former patients remembered a visitor in the lobby weeks before she vanished. Tall, quiet, wearing a cap pulled low. Never checked in, never asked at the desk. Stared at the receptionist's clock. Could be nothing, could be everything. It was never on camera clearly. What about the line no one can shake? I should have said something years ago. It lingers. Like an apology you never hear twice. It could mean a lot of things. An old colleague in trouble. A misdiagnosis she feared to correct. A family she sent back into harm. A supervisor she never challenged. She was good. She wasn't perfect. No one is. Imagine the last session again. The door closes. 2 people sit, one with a notebook, one with a storm inside. They talk about stress, or anger, or sleep. They talk about control. Maybe they talk about a choice that hurt someone. Maybe they talk about a plan. The therapist hears a phrase that freezes her. The past collides with the present. The old regret breathes again. I should have said something years ago. Because now it's back. Bigger. Closer. If you knew something dangerous, who would you tell? A friend? A colleague? The police? She walked down that hall like everything was normal. Maybe she was planning to report. Maybe she wanted to check one detail in her notes. Maybe she wanted to cool down before calling it in. That's the moment the story tilts. This is not a case with clues in neon. It's quiet. It's clinical. The danger hides in schedules and routines. It hides in open doors and blind cameras. It hides in the simple fact that you can walk out and be gone. So we ask different questions. Who benefits from her silence? Who feared her report? Who wanted her fear to last? And if she ran, who scared her that much? The PI believes the answer is a person, not a place, not a symbol, not a myth. A single person who sat across from her. Not necessarily the last patient on paper. Maybe the last person she engaged privately. A call, a hallway exchange, a whispered check-in. Whoever it was, they left her with a choice she didn't want to make. Speak and risk everything, or stay quiet and live with it. She stayed quiet too long, so she wrote it down. I shouldn't have stayed quiet. Why send that page to the clinic? Because that's where the story started. Because that's where her voice carried weight. Because everyone would read it and feel the pressure. And here's the thing about pressure. It makes people move. It makes them slip. It makes them talk. This is the moment the case turns. Not with a chase, not with a scream, but with a sentence in the mail. If you're listening, you can feel it too. The heat on the last week of her notes. The weight on a second session that wasn't ordinary. The shape of a threat that didn't look like a threat until it was. What happens next? The investigator is re-examining her final sessions. He's mapping every client from her last month. He's ranking risk. He's cross-referencing old cases with new names. He's looking for overlaps. A shared employer, a shared address, a shared secret. He's talking to reception. Who called in with blocked numbers? Who asked what time she left? Who wanted to know if she worked alone? He's checking the mail route. He's checking which box feeds the clinic. He's checking where a person could drop a letter without being seen. He's asking the simple, haunting question: who needs her quiet? Maybe the answers aren't buried. Maybe they're not at the bottom of a lake. Maybe they're not in a field or a basement or a storage unit. Maybe the answers are sitting across from someone right now. Maybe they're in a chair that used to face her. Maybe someone hears her voice when they close their eyes. Maybe that person knows exactly what happened. Maybe they're waiting to see if anyone will connect the dots. Here's what we know. A therapist with habits vanished. Her car stayed. Her bag stayed. Her notebook left. A page came back. A sentence keeps echoing. If someone silenced her, they feared daylight. Light is coming. If she ran, she feared retaliation. Retaliation has a shape. It leaves a shadow. Either way, there's a person at the center. Someone who couldn't stand her voice. Someone who needed her silence. Someone who sat within arm's reach and smiled. If you're drawn to stories that peel back the human psyche and ask hard questions, subscribe now. If that last sentence won't leave your head, tap like. And tell us in the comments, do you think Dr. Harper was silenced, or did she run? Because this is not over. Her family won't stop. The investigator won't stop. We won't stop following the map she left. Every routine, every word, every silence. Especially the silence. Someone thought a missing therapist is the end of a story. It isn't. It's the beginning. And somebody knows why.